So we continue with scene 10, 11, and 12 of Act 2. This scene takes place at the palace, and now we can listen to a conversation between Joseph the Emperor and Salieri, and it is in fact Joseph the Emperor himself the one that suggests Salieri that they must find him a post, okay, referring to Mozart. They must find him a job. And Salieri thinks, okay, it is a danger. Okay, it is a danger because that would be against his plans, that he was planning to make Mozart starve. There is nothing available, Majesty, he says. But Joseph replies, there is chamber composer now that Gluck is dead. And shocked, he says, Mozart to follow Gluck? I won't have him say I drove him away. You know what a tongue he has. Okay, so the emperor is the emperor has always had an attitude of approval to Mozart. Okay, he has helped him restore the third act that Rosenberg, for example, wanted to take away from Figaro. So he has always welcomed Mozart, but he's aware that Mozart has a very sharp tongue. We can say that he speaks a lot. And that he can rumor everywhere that the court has not helped him in Vienna. Okay, so the emperor doesn't want to ruin his own reputation by letting Mozart say something like that. So Salieri says, then grant him Gluck's post, Majesty, but not his salary. That would be wrong. And he goes on, or Joseph goes on saying, Gluck got 2,000 florins a year. What should Mozart get? 200. Light payment, yes, but for light duties. Perfectly fair. I am obliged to you, court composer. Now, Salieri says, easily done. Like many men obsessed with being thought generous, the Emperor Joseph was quite essentially mean. Now, Mozart, when he hears about this, that he's offered that post and that payment, that salary, he says it is a damned insult, not enough to keep a mouse in cheese for a week. Okay, it was very, very little payment. Now, Salieri says, I'm sorry it made you angry. I would not have suggested it if I had known you would be distressed. You suggested it? I regret I was not able to do more. Oh, forgive me, you are a good man. I see that now. You are a truly kind man. I am a monstrous fool. You make me ashamed, you excellent man. No, 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 s'il vous plaît, he says, a little less enthusiasm, I beg you. Now here we can see how Salieri is dishonest with Mozart, and he lies that he was the one that has suggested this position, this job for Mozart, whereas we know that it was not true. The one that suggested finding a job for Mozart was the emperor himself, and what he did was actually suggested that Mozart could get the job, but to have a very insignificant salary. Okay, so we can see that Salieri has not helped Mozart at all. However, he pretends to have helped him, and he pretends to behave like a good friend. That's why Mozart feels guilty of what he had said, and he somehow wants to thank Salieri for what he has done to help him. In that moment, Mozart suddenly doubles over with stomach cramps, and he groans. And Salieri says, Wolfgang, what is it? Okay, because he can listen some stomach noises, okay, that come from Mozart. So these stomach cramps, of course, can be related to the starvation that has already started taking place in Mozart, okay? And Mozart says, I get cramps sometimes in my stomach. I'm sorry. Excuse me, it is nothing, really, he says, okay? He doesn't give a real explanation why he gets the cramps, but we know that he's really starving, and that's why, due to the fact that he's not feeding himself properly, from time to time, we can listen to his stomach cramps. So Salieri says, my friend, my new friend, okay, and now Mozart goes. When he's alone, he speaks to the audience and say, now if ever it was the moment for God to crush me, I waited. And do you know what happened? I had just ruined Mozart's career at court. God rewarded me by granting me my dearest wish. Salieri says that this was the moment for God to crush him, to punish him, because his plan is working. His plan to starve, to make Mozart starve, is actually working. Because of all his evil deeds, his evil actions, it was this the right time for God to punish him. But however, God is actually not acting against Salieri's plan. Okay, because Salieri could move on with his plan to suggest Mozart for that job and not paying him a good salary. So he believes that everything that he's planning is working very well. So God continues ignoring him, and this is what makes Salieri mad, because he wants at least to call God's attention by being punished. If he is punished somehow, he understands that God is somehow paying attention to him, but he doesn't get even that attention from God, okay? And he knows that he deserves to be punished. Now, both Venticello announce that Kapellmeister Bono is dead. Salieri opens his mouth in surprise, and they say, "You're appointed by royal decree to fill his place." Now, Joseph, formally as Salieri turns and bows to him, first royal and imperial Kapellmeister to our court. This is the moment when Joseph is naming him first royal Kapellmeister, and everyone congratulates him, saying, "Bravo, well done, Salieri," etc. Again, Salieri turns around alarmed, and to the audience he says, "I was now truly alarmed. How long would I go unpunished?" He cannot believe that everything that he's planning is actually working, and even other things are going on perfectly well in his life, okay? Kapellmeister Bono is dead, and he has been promoted. He's the one that is succeeding him in that position. That was the highest position any musician could have at the court. So everything is going perfectly in his career and in his life, and even in his evil plans. So he cannot believe that God is not punishing him. It seems that it is just the opposite. Now, scene 11, we see Mozart and Constance together, and she's palpably pregnant, and she wears a poor coat and bonnet. His clothes are poorer too. This description is important because now we can see a lot of deterioration in Mozart, not just physical deterioration, because he has the stomach cramps, because of the way because of the clothes he wears and his physical appearance, and there is a lot of deterioration also in his career. Okay, so he's actually making no kind of progress at all in any sense, in any way. Okay, and things are even getting worse. Okay, the fact that Constance is pregnant again will make things even more complicated in their financial life. Now, Mozart congratulates Salieri on the fact that he has been named first royal Kapellmeister, and Salieri also congratulates them both on the fact that they are both expecting another baby. Clearly, he says, there was a change for the worse. "I hear you are not well, my friend," he says to Mozart. "I am not. My pains stay with me," making reference to the stomach cramps. "How wretched! What can they be?" "Also, I sleep badly. I have dreams, bad dreams." "Dreams?" Salieri asks. These dreams are very, very important, and you will see that later on, okay? While these dreams, these bad dreams, so they are kind of nightmares, the ones that Mozart have, are really, really important, because you will see how distressed he is. He cannot even rest. He's not feeding himself. He's not eating, and he even sleeps badly. So all this will end up being a terrible a terrible combination for Mozart, who will get more physically deteriorated. Now Mozart says, always, in connection to the dreams, he says, always the same one. A figure comes to me cloaked in gray, doing this. He beckons slowly, as though this figure is calling him. It has no face, just gray like a mask. And he giggles nervously. He starts laughing nervously. What can it mean, do you think? So he describes the kind of dream he has, in which he sees a figure that is cloaked, que tiene puesto una capa, okay, that is cloaked in gray, that has a mask, so he cannot see his face, and that this figure is somehow calling him. So he wonders what could be the meaning of this apparition, of this dream that happens to him many times, okay, it happens repeatedly. Salieri says, surely you do not believe in dreams. Surely you do not, madam. Also talking to Constance, and Constance is very rude, we can say, in her reply when she says, I never dream, sir. Things are unpleasant enough to me awake, okay, referring to the situation that they are going through, and that Salieri knows perfectly well, because remember that in previous scenes, Constance has gone directly to Salieri's house to ask for help, okay, to make Mozart find a job. And Mozart says, it's all fancy, of course. If Wolfgang had proper work, he might dream less, Constance says, first Kapellmeister. And Mozart now is embarrassed, and taking her arm says, Stancy, please, excuse us. Sir, come, dearest, we are well enough, thank you. He wants to minimize Constance's words, and they leave. Now, Salieri knows, because the Venticelli come and they announce that Mozart and Constance have moved house again. They must be desperate, they say. It is a real slum. Okay, now they have moved to a very poor, extremely poor place, okay, because they don't have any money to pay the rent. And Salieri says, does he earn any money at all apart from his post? Nothing whatever. I hear he's starting to beg. Empezó a mendigar. They say he has written letter to 20 brother Masons. Really? They are giving him money. And now Salieri, to the audience, he says, of course they would. I had forgotten the Masons. Naturally they would relieve him. How stupid of me. There could be no finally starving him with the Masons there to help. How could I stop it? Now he realizes that he has forgotten that Mozart belongs to the Brotherhood of Masons, to that organization that helps poor musicians, and because of the situation that he's going through, Mozart has written to different Masons asking for help, and many of them have answered and have provided some money. Now Salieri wonders what he can do in order to make the Masons stop providing that financial help. Okay, so he will do whatever he can in order to ruin Mozart's reputation against the Masons.